What's going on, YouTube? It's the Paydirt Pioneer coming back at you with another gold video. Today's a continuation of the last video that I posted. I know it's been a while and I apologize for that, but I wanted to provide a brief update on how my trip to New Hampshire went for gold prospecting. I got to go up there for a little bit of actual work. I had some time to actually hit the river and do a little bit of prospecting. And for those of you that don't know, the Wild Ammonoosuc River up in the northern part of the state is actually a bit of a gold hotbed. I wasn't there during peak season, unfortunately, a little bit later than you probably would have liked in order to get some of the really good gold. But if you go up to Twin Rivers Campground, you can get a $7 day permit. They have about a mile stretch of land that you can do your prospecting on, and that's what I did. And I was out there for about 6 hours or so, and I had a blast. And I wanted to share that experience with you guys. So without any further ado, let's see the journey to get where we're at today.
Turn left onto Twin River Drive, then turn right.
And welcome back. As you can see, it was quite the time. Beautiful, beautiful countryside. Absolutely loved it up there. Just very blessed to have been able to have taken that trip and have had that time to do a little bit of prospecting. But from that, we got this nice little pan of leftover concentrates. I got a close-up going right here now. If you look through this, you see just a lot of darks, which makes sense. That's going to be your heaviest materials. You also have a lot of garnets, man. I mean, this thing is packed full of garnets. Unfortunately, that's not what we're hunting for. We're hunting for gold. I did pan a lot of the specs. I know there should be some gold specs in here. It's not going to be anything big. I doubt it's going to weigh anything, but let's get it panned out and let's see how much gold we got from a full day's worth of work. New addition, we finally upgraded our magnet. I'm assuming this is probably pretty magnetic, just based on the fact that it's very heavy material that's all left over. I'm probably going to separate out the magnetics and just see if we can pan those back separately, and if that's going to give us any sort of different different results. Try to make this a little bit easier on ourselves as we go about panning. So yeah, I was up there for work, but I had the day when I flew in to actually, take the time to hit up the river. On second thought, this is still a little damp. We're going to get straight to panning. Don't plan on fast forwarding through this though. But let's get started and see how much gold we recover. We got our handy dandy bucket of water here. As always, we're going to throw in a little bit of jet dry. That's just a surfactant. It helps break the surface tension. Gold is not going to float away that way. So that's a brand new pan. Don't really want to use that. So in terms of what I'm looking at for the channel now, it's still not going to be anything overly consistent. Again, focusing on being a dad right now, and that's the best job I could ask for. That said, I do have some leftover Paydirts I plan on panning out. A couple more that I actually want to invest in and see if I can get some good gold out of them that I've been looking at. So those should be coming at some point, hopefully within this year before the new year starts. But we'll see. It's been quite the journey. Again, as a first time dad, it's been a great journey. I'm very grateful for it. But it's definitely put something like this, which is more of a hobby for me, just on the back burner. Um, that's all okay. It's never a bad time to collect some gold, especially when gold's at record prices. Um, the couple bags that I bought when gold was probably about $1,000 less an ounce. So it's really looking like a good investment on my end right now. But I actually have to get it panned out first to really see the fruits of that labor. And I think we're just about down to the heavies. Let's try to pan this back and see how much gold we have. In terms of actually prospecting, I mean, it's a completely different world than doing this at home. For starters, I actually invested in a nice sluice. I wanted to make sure that I was doing this as properly as I could. I only had a limited amount of time to actually be able to prospect, so I wanted to make sure that I got to get through as much material as possible, and a sluice definitely helped me along with that. Ran into a nice couple actually up that way. I think they were a little bit jealous that I had gotten to the spot that I did before they got there. No problem though. Talked with them for a little bit. They were from Maine, and they were actually up there just to prospect, just to hit the river for a couple of days and work their way through some material. I went at the end of June. For those of you that don't know, the typical best time for prospecting up in the area is right after the spring thaw. That gets you up in the river when you have all that nice gold rush down from the mountains, from the runoff water. Didn't quite do that. I think they have a meetup there, usually right around the middle of May, maybe beginning of June. That's probably your best time to go. I do see some gold specks starting to make their way into the picture. Again, it wasn't a lot. It's not the best time to go. And this is my first time ever prospecting. I'm from Ohio. Not exactly the best place to prospect if you are from the area or anywhere really in the Midwest. You can get some deposits of glacier gold, but for the most part, you're really going to need to travel if you actually want to have this more of a hobby and do this more than just in your backyard or in your basement like I'm doing right now. Making our way through this. I ended up getting through about 5 or so gallon buckets, I'd say. Again, I didn't really have the benefit of having done this before, so it was new to me. But it was fun. It was a worthwhile experience, and if I have to take a trip like that again next year, which there's a very good chance for my job, they'll want me to repeat that trip. I plan on doing some prospecting up that way again. I got to shout out Twin Rivers Campground. They make it super easy if you're just there for the day. If you actually end up camping there, I believe you have access to the river to prospect as much as you want to. For someone like myself, though, where I was not going to stay at a campground, a little bit further away from my location that I needed to be the next morning anyways, it just made going there for the day worthwhile. And we're almost down to the bottom. I'm not going to worry about drying this all up and getting it on a scale. It's not going to end up measuring up, obviously. But if you can see, you got about 4. There's a nice little speck right in the middle there. And I'll get a close-up with my phone because it's a better camera. You got about, looks like maybe 5 or 6 different colors overall. Yeah, so as you can see, a nice little bit of gold there. That's definitely your champion piece right there. But you got a couple pieces of flour gold all around.